Hi everyone, hope you're doing well from wherever you're watching this channel, depending on your time zone. Now, there are photos circulating on social media after a meeting between William Ruto and Raila Odinga in the presence of the Uganda President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni at his county home in Uganda. And the people are raising so many questions. What was the motive of that meeting? And what made this leaders to share those photos on social media? It's a message they are sending to the public, and above all, there was a reason why they were to meet in Uganda, and there was a reason why Museveni was supposed to be in presence. And after that meeting, there is something Ruto shared on his official page. This is what he said: Kenya and Uganda are committed to the deepening of the long-established diplomatic and economic ties between our two countries. The leadership includes bringing all the East Africa community nations closer in their ultimate goal to form the East African Political Federation. Had pleasure of meeting President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni at his Kisonzi County home in Uganda. We discussed critical issues that affect our two countries, such as energy and petroleum. Also discussed was the declared candidacy of the Kenyan former Prime Minister Raila Odinga for the African Union Commission chairmanship. Now, that last statement can be the main agenda of the discussion of this meeting. Hii zengine zinaweza kuwa tu as any other business, but the main business of discussion might be the last statement in that post. Then from there, now Raila Odinga is revealing something here on his post on the same. Who invited him to that meeting, why they met, and the way forward. Listen to this. Several days ago, I accepted an invitation from President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni of Uganda for a joint meeting with President William Samuel Ruto today to discuss the deepening of regional integration within the East Africa community. Crucially, at the urging of the President Museveni, we also discussed my candidacy for the chairperson of the African Union Commission. I am very grateful to President Museveni for strongly endorsing my candidacy and to President Ruto for fully backing it. Now, there is something to get here. For the first time, Raila Odinga is referring to William Ruto as President William Ruto. And now, the other thing that is being revealed here is that Raila is communicating to Kenyans and the world at large and his supporters that President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni of Uganda has now endorsed his candidature for the AU position. Now, we took time out of our busy engagement to visit President Museveni's wondrous cattle farm in Kisonzi. Now, then after this, we have seen several bloggers and of course supporters of both sides giving their views, weighing in this matter. And this is what Pauline Njoroge said. She has a message for the Kikuyu community, and above all, she stands with Raila Odinga for the AU position. My dear Kikuyus, now that in 2027, you won't have a chance to vote against Muganga in brackets, what will you vote for? Because that was what they were told. Meanwhile, you will notice that Kales will not hate their son for engaging with Raila and supporting him. That tells you that to some extent Kikuyus were incited against their own Uhuru Kenyatta just because Uhuru worked with Raila Odinga and he supported Raila at the end of the day. So he was hated for doing so. But for Kalenjins, there is no way they are going to hate William Ruto because Ruto is now embracing Raila Odinga. They are going to stand with William Ruto. Now, yote tisa kumi baba to Africa. That means she's endorsing Raila Odinga for the position. So, aendelee. That tells you that in her view, the whole issue here is about supporting Raila Odinga's candidature to the AU. But again, there's another post from my friend Sultan TV, which I want to share with you here. He really captured it very well on what Ruto used to say during the campaign time and even immediately after the election and what he's doing as of now. Because in this way, those who hated the Uhuru or Raila were happy to hear this. But then what happened at the end of the day? Listen to this shortly before we give our own view on the same. Tutafutie wale wakora vyeo ama tushughulikie uchumi kwanza. Tutafutie wale madynasty vyeo ama tushughulikie mama mboga na mtu wa bodaboda. Wangapi wanasema yule mzee wa kitendawili aende Bondo. Inua mkono nione, inua mkono nione. Salale, kumbe nyinyi ni wangwana. By the way, the first person William Ruto secured a job for immediately after he was sworn in was none other than the immediately retired president Uhuru Kenyatta. Because Uhuru Kenyatta now is the facilitator of peace keeping mission for East Africa. Yeye alipewa kazi wa kwanza. Now we are seeing a big job for Raila Odinga. Ruto really using every means possible and any resource at his disposal to make sure that Raila captures this seat. Na ni nani alisema mambo ya dynasty? Na ni nani walikuwa wanaitwa dynasty? So that should tell you something. Kenyans should learn to vote for ideas, not voting because they've been driven by hate, tribalism, and bigotry. Wajifunza kitu. And I think the photos we saw circulating on social media is a lesson that we need to learn from. How did you vote? Did you vote on ideas? Or you voted because of hate, because of tribalism, and because of bigotry? How did you vote? But yayo yote tuweke kando. We come to this discussion here. Now, the agenda of the meeting between Raila and William Ruto and Museveni ilikuwa nini? We want to look into that shortly, but just a quick request for those who are watching and you have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing. To our returning subscribers, I must say thank you so much. And again, to all our viewers, please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much, and back to this discussion. Now, we are seeing Yoweri Museveni is the host, and definitely Raila Odinga attended this closed-door meeting at the invitation of the Uganda President Yoweri Museveni. That will tell you that William Samoei Ruto reached out to Yoweri Museveni requesting him to arrange a meeting between him and Raila Odinga. So Raila was an invited guest. Above all, we have seen Raila Odinga at every point requesting if William Ruto want to meet him to deliberate on serious matters, either hapa Kenya ama kule nje, he would prefer to have a sitting with William Ruto in the presence of either a retired president of East Africa, any of African countries, or a sitting president of Africa, yoyote, African countries. So last time we saw the former Nigeria president, who is also his close friend for a long time. Then now we are seeing Yoweri Kaguta Museveni also a sitting president of Uganda. So Raila understands William Ruto is a man who can say this and tomorrow does something different. So because of that, he would need a senior person who has served so that when Ruto will go into some agreement, when he change, they come out and tell him the truth. So Raila understands Ruto's tactics and character. That's why he can only sit with William Ruto to deliberate on serious matter when there is senior official, either retired president or a sitting one. Sasa akiruka nao wanakuja wanasema na ukweli kwa sababu pia marais wanaheshimika kwa hiyo kiwango. So up there it tells you that Raila Odinga's candidature for the AU commission chairperson is on a high gear. Imeendelea. With this, the discussion is about how they can achieve that position. Haya mengine ndio yako but for formalities, but the main agenda here is the candidature of Raila Odinga. And for William Ruto, he has to work day and night, sweat for this campaign to ensure that Raila captures that seat. If not, ako na shida kubwa hapa Kenya. And he has to do so by making sure that East Africa is only producing one formidable candidature in the name of Raila Odinga. How do you do that? Reach out to all East Africa leaders so that Uganda haina candidate, Tanzania haina candidate, na wengine ambao wako na mpango wa kutoa candidate hawana. They back one candidature. That is the journey that Ruto has started. Then kule mbele, Mudavadi has been assigned to lead the Raila Odinga campaign. So we see the meeting in Uganda, then the blessing of Museveni supporting Raila Odinga's candidature. Ndio hiyo hapo. That means Uganda might not be producing another candidate. Then soon tumeona the close, appearance of William Ruto and the Tanzania president. We saw Uhuru Kenyatta also meeting with the Tanzania president. We have seen his president with the Museveni. Uhuru and the Museveni, they have been good friends. This also is also clearing the air that finally, as Raila meets Yoweri Kaguta Museveni and William Samoei Ruto, it says also there is a possibility of Uhuru Kenyatta also playing a role into this issue. Wamekuwa marafiki wazuri. So with all this, it tells you that it's all about making Raila Odinga the AU Commission chairperson. Ruto has to fight that and make sure it happens. Hapo mambo ya uongo haiko. Akianguka itakuwa labda wameshindwa kuweza ama other challenges. But I can tell you, the big challenge that Ruto has is to ensure that Raila is somewhere. Why? 2027 equation here back in Kenya. I don't know your views and I don't want to go beyond that, but let us meet in the comment section to continue this discussion. Thank you so much and see you in our next video.